We have had many conversations with programmers, and we started talking with Sky like for 3 years ago. And what we have discovered is, in many cases, because of the changes in behavior on consumers are starting to not consume all the media through the linear broadcast that they used to be, and start using media that's accessed through different devices, like connected TVs, tablets, cell phones. So that resulted in an erosion of the ratings. But it's not that people are consuming less media. They're just consuming media differently. So for them, as a programmer, there is a challenge of reaggregate all this inventory into one gigantic pool that can be targetable. And there is actually additional benefits, because as they have this aggregated pool, because the aggregation happens through digital means, this pool becomes addressable on one-on-one basis. Opens the door for very, very interesting possibilities. And if you start thinking about this reaggregation, there is data that is collected from the broadcast side, data from set-top boxes, from ACR technologies that recognize what's being played on a TV set, and allow you to have a fuller picture when you can actually understand the full frequency across not only the digital means like connected and computers and mobile phones, but also what's being played in the broadcast, the linear distribution, the bunny ears antenna TV. I think what is very interesting is the technology that allows us to understand all the different devices a consumer has. So what we have built over the last 3 years is a software to manage what's called multiple graphs and what's called a graph. So a graph in itself is the ability to connect two devices through a link. And in fact, we have multiple of these data sets that allow to understand a fuller picture of which consumer owns how many devices and which devices. So this is used in two different ways. One is for targeting. If I know an audience that is interested in buying a luxury car, and I have the IDs for these individuals, it can understand out of these IDs, I may have them as a cookie or as a device ID in a cell phone. I can understand all the other devices they own, and I can show them ads and target ads in all these other devices. And the second part is in analytics. So not only can I see and target, but I can also collect data on exposure and link it to conversion. So somebody may be exposed to a connected TV, and then they go to their home and log in the computer and book an appointment with a dealership to actually go and see this luxury car. So we can create a closed loop from that computer to the exposure in the TV and create attribution in a way that wasn't possible before. So those two things make a very interesting, create a really interesting value proposition for programmers, because it allows them to start dealing with media that is used to be broadcast and now is kind of dealt in a one-by-one basis.
Give us an idea of how that whole audience buying side of things is going.
Yes, so that's very interesting. I mean, let's continue with our example of the luxury car buyer. So in the market probably today for luxury cars, there's probably going to be like maybe 1 or 2% of the population, right? And if you are a manufacturer of these cars, back in the day you have to buy a show in the broadcast, not fully knowing that the majority of people watching the show is really not in the market for your product. So what this technology allows is for this company to target only those individuals and reduce the spillover. And that's what makes it so interesting to them, right? And it basically is it's kind of back to the basic for a marketer. I have an audience I want to target, and I know the audience. I just want to hit those individuals with premium media. And that's the other variable that is now different for the last 2-3 years. There is a return to premium media from the advertiser perspective, an appreciation and a willingness to pay actually a premium price. We're seeing prices in the $10, $15, $20, $50, $60 CPM, and those are really healthy prices for quality programming. And this is pretty much in contrast with the trends that used to happen like probably 10 years ago, when we were was a race to the bottom in terms of pricing, and not necessarily with the quality. And in general, I mean, we see programmers have a fundamental advantage when you compare the type of media they own versus the type of media that is being owned by a digital walled garden, which is typically user-generated content, which is not as good quality as a TV show. So the ability to target an advanced audience against this quality media creates a very interesting value proposition for an advertiser. The technology is there, and the development that continues happening and is happening really quickly is the availability of inventory that can be targeted. As a statistic, I mean, in the last month, we have seen 4.7 billion impressions on a TV set, and when we say TV set, we're talking 40 inches plus. We're not counting here the cell phones or the computers full episode. Just 40 inches plus experience, 4.7 billion impressions. That's pretty, it's a pretty healthy amount. And this has been growing very, very significantly in the last 3 months. I mean, the speed of adoption is impressive. And this is because consumers are changing habits. For a consumer, it's much more practical for them to kind of go to their home and watch the TV show when they want to watch it. No one is airing live. So in that sense, it's very convenient to them. So that's a trend. Another trend is this realization of premiumness in media and the interest from advertisers to say, I am willing to pay good money for good media. A third trend is also this challenge with the ratings. I mean, ratings have started to be flattish and in some cases drop. Is creating a lot of dynamics in the market where people who used to have a business that was mostly, let's come to the upfronts and it's going to be great. Those owners of content are not now much more open to have a conversation about technology. And those conversations are happening as we speak. And I would expect, 3-5 years out, these conversations already played out. And consumers are going to see, as a consumer, you're going to see actually ad loads drop. With the ability to target advanced audiences and only show ads to those individuals you actually, as an advertiser, you care about, you're going to pay a premium price, but you don't need to show that many ads to create the same revenue from the media seller side. So you can think that ad loads today, I think, is 12-13 minutes per hour, could drop to probably half, maybe a quarter. While at the same time, the cost per unit are going to raise and probably create either incremental revenue for the media seller.